Everybody talks about real estate markets. How is the demand? Is it increasing? Is it not increasing? Is it a bubble? Is it going to crash?
Yes, the prices are still going up because there is a demand.
Are we oversupplied? Are we undersupplied?
Dubai has recorded around 17,000 new residents.
And this is the highest number I have seen since I moved here. Hello and welcome to the first episode of Metropolitan Unmuted, Market Editions. Today, our discussion will be with a dear friend, someone I've known for years, and I'm privileged now to be working with. My name is Mohab Samak. I am the Executive Director here at Metropolitan, and today our guest is Svetlana Vasilieva, and she is our head of secondary market. And as I said, dear friend, someone I've known for almost 16, 17 years. And welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohab. I would like to introduce myself. So I'm a head of secondary sales in Metropolitan Premium Properties, as well as a seasoned real estate professional working in Dubai since 2006 in real estate market.
Commercial real estate market.
Commercial and residential.
Yes, I know. Okay. Today our subject that we're discussing is few points actually, and a lot of them are very hot topics that everybody talks about real estate market, especially professionals and even people that come here for investment or any other means. They always discuss these points. Point number one, very important. Yeah, focus please. First point, supply and demand. Where is it heading? Are we oversupplied? Are we undersupplied? How is the demand? Is it increasing? Is it not increasing? Is it a bubble? Is it going to crash? All these points that we always hear every day, multiple meetings a day. And I want to take your take on it from a numbers perspective. Before we start, let's highlight a few main points. Number one, Dubai have just registered 4 million residents. And this is the highest number I have seen since I moved here, which is similar time. I moved to Dubai in 2005. And this is the very first time that we hit that number, meaning that we're in high demand. So, all yours.
Agree. So according to Dubai Data and Statistics Establishment, Dubai has recorded around 17,000 new residents flew to Dubai during months of October, from mid of October to mid of November, which is actually taking us to 4 million of residents of population in Dubai. That's correct. And according to Dubai 2040 Urban Master Development Plan, Dubai is aiming to achieve 5.8 million of population. So the coming back to your question, is it a bubble? I don't think so. In my professional point of view.
Sorry to interrupt. It's not my question. I know the answer, but our viewers, a lot of them are asking. So.
Even my friends have asked me yesterday during the dinner, what is happening with the prices? Is demand growing? Why the prices are still going up? Yes, the prices are still going up because there is a demand. Demand is still growing. Is it oversupplied? Is it undersupplied? Well, let's talk in details. If we are talking about well-established residential communities with the social infrastructure, then it's not oversupplied at all. The demand is very strong. The prices keep going up for the sale, for the rent. So it is highly demanded.
So you would say it's segmented. You cannot say overall. You would say some areas are oversupplied, some areas are still undersupplied, or even market segments like townhouses, villas, apartments, all that. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay. So if someone would ask you if Dubai has enough homes over the next few years, and how is that going to affect the pricing and the rental yields over the next 2-3 years?
I personally think, and professionally, that we are still under supply for the affordable housing. With the growth of population, the supply of affordable housing is not for the next few years is not 100%. This is what I can say. But in the longer run, if we are talking about the all off-plan projects which are being sold currently, and which are going to be delivered in 4 to 5 or 6 years, then probably we are looking at oversupply. However, currently for the next 3 to 4 years, I personally think that there is no oversupply. So we are still under supply.
So my take on this is a very important part, because if you are discussing an equation, you need to discuss both sides of the equation. You cannot change one side and expect the other side not to change. So we're always talking about the supply and the demand based on the current situation.
Correct.
But we've seen for the last 20 years, this city, or this country, not even the city, this country never keeps the bar stable. It's always being raised. So meaning, yes, subject to today, the deliveries of the next 2-3 years might see an increase in the units being delivered, handed over in the market. But that's subject to the current population with the current demand,
Correct.
which is expected to increase. And I'm sure we've seen so many things that are happening, in not only in Dubai, in the UAE in general, like the boom is happening in Ras Al Khaimah. This is people coming to the UAE. This is people, if they come to Dubai, they will need either a temporary residence or a hospitality solution for them. So all this is not included in this equation, and this is what a lot of people missing. Abu Dhabi having a huge boom over the last year.
Of course, with the islands.
Exactly.
Yes.
So all these things are main points to this specific structure that we're talking about. Is it oversupply? If you look at Dubai only, and if you look at specific segments, and if you look at it as of today's population, maybe you're right. But that is not correct, because you need to look at the other side of the equation, that the population is increasing. If you're talking about 17,000 people in October alone, that's a big amount of people. Obviously, the casino opening in Ras Al Khaimah and the population increase and the amount of foreign investment that is coming into the city with all these major developments that you see. And I'm talking about vast master planning, but with international funds coming from outside the country. I do not think this equation is correct, and I don't believe that we are going towards anything but maybe stability, which is a normal situation in any real estate, forget that, not even real estate, any financial market, that will always have to go up and down.
In few years.
Yeah, a few years. Always up and down, and that's healthy, because just up doesn't, act well, and just down, that's a crash, and I don't think that's either a good thing.
Agreed.
So, all right, agreed. This is also one of the topics that I always get asked about. Clients will always come, or investors, or even real estate professionals, they always come, should I focus in the secondary market, or shall I focus in the primary market, off-plan market? And this is a question that is always coming to us. What's your take? If I will tell you right now, I'm a buyer, I'm interested, is it off-plan or secondary, would you recommend?
Then I will actually ask you so many questions in order to identify what would be your priority. So, first of all...
Ask me. I'm in the market, yes.
Okay, so first of all, so you're coming to me. Mohab is coming to me and asking me, where would I invest, correct? Where would you invest? In secondary or in off-plan? Okay, Mohab. Then I'll start. May I know how many properties do you currently have in Dubai? So
Really?
I'll start asking
2.
you, okay, are they ready? Are you living in one of your properties?
Yes.
Okay, and the second one? Is it
investment?
It is an investment.
Yes.
Okay. Is your current property, is it enough for your family members?
No, hence why I'm in the market.
Okay, so it's not enough. I mean, in terms of the size,
Yes.
Would you upgrade your current property to a larger, to a bigger, to a villa probably? I know that you're living in an apartment, so
Yes.
Okay, so you would. Okay, great. Then in this case, I would suggest you again, knowing you for so many years, knowing your situation and your family, I would actually tell you that currently, so the current situation it's not urgent to get an upgrade, correct?
No, it's not urgent, but it's urgent. You know what I mean? From that perspective.
So probably there are 2 options. You can look at off-plan and you can look at the resale of off-plan.
Yes.
So at off-plan, if we are looking at off-plan, let's say you would be interested in buying a larger house, a villa, in an upcoming new community, which will be ready in 2 or 3 years or in 4 years' time, right? Then you can choose one of the, I'm not going to name the developers here, we're not advertising. You can choose one of the communities which are fast developing, which are still under the construction, and to buy a property off plan, which will give you enough of time to pay the installments. And once the property is ready, let's say in 4 years, you will be able to sell your current property, for instance, where you are living now, if you would want to. And by selling this property, you can invest the large amount of funds into the last installment. So this is option 1. Option 2, you can buy a villa which is under the construction, which will be completed in 2 years or in 1 year, again in one of the well-established, in one of the emerging new communities. So it's going to be a secondary. But if you are someone who just entered the market, you just moved to Dubai, and you are renting a property and you have enough of funds for the down payment, I would highly suggest you to probably look at the ready-to-move in property where you can apply for a mortgage if you're eligible for a mortgage, right? Pay down payment and move from a rented property to your own home.
100%, I agree. So the question is coming from a very specific aspect, because I'm not sure why people always think about off-plan versus secondary. From a real estate perspective, and I'm sure you agree with me, I do not see it that way. I see it always, it depends on when do you need to move in.
I agree. 100%.
If you need to move in today, then you need a ready property. And you have to choose very carefully what fits your situation. I have a lot of people that would go and buy at the rural areas of the city, because for them, they want more space, less budget. But in other cases, people would prefer to take even more expensive property, smaller, but closer to the main arteries, like something close to Sheikh Zayed Road on the main access to the city. So it really depends on what you need. Off-plan is off-plan. Off-plan, obviously, you expect a capital appreciation upon handover. Dubai or the UAE in general has shown a very strong capital appreciation worldwide, where we are achieving somewhere around 10 to 15% annually, and that's based on the last 4 years, not including the boom that we've seen after the corona, meaning that a property investment in Dubai, whether you're buying off-plan or secondary, is the same. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on your personal expectations, whether you want capital appreciation or return on investment or return on equity or both. It really depends, right?
I agree, 100%.
So there is no difference. So here is the question. Off-plan sales in the UAE or in Dubai mainly has seen more action, more transactions happening. It's about 60-70% of transactions in the UAE market or Dubai market, if we're talking Dubai, is in the off-plan market. Why do you think that is? And from what perspective would you advise people to go for?
Why am I thinking that the highest number of the transactions in Dubai is 70%? Well, first of all, later on we'll look at the number of the secondary transactions and the number of the mortgage transactions out of the secondary transactions. So first of all, not everyone would like to buy a house and pay the cash up front. Not everyone would like to take a mortgage. Again, it all depends on the personal preferences. And Dubai experiencing a lot of investors. So investors actually would like to get a capital appreciation. This is the main reason why there is a highest number of the off-plan transactions. And as you mentioned earlier, and I completely agree with you, Dubai has proven a strong capital appreciation return.
Yeah.
So this is the main reason, yes.
Yeah. So look, again, for me, and this is a point I'm making again because I'm getting this a lot from our teams in the office, from the clients that we meet,
from the friends,
from friends that we have. Everybody is coming and asking, should I buy off plan or buy ready? And that question is a bit weird because you need to ask yourself. It really depends on your situation, your financial capabilities. Obviously, off plan always is slightly more expensive than secondary, mostly. Sometimes it's not the case, but mostly it is because of the payment plan with no interest fees,
Yes.
because there's no mortgage. You
Yes.
have in-house payment plan from developers. Secondary market is an upfront payment, and that means mortgage. And the mortgage itself
Extra fees.
adds on top of the total value of the asset. So it actually affects your capital appreciation. So it really depends. If you're buying to live in, just buy. Don't think about it. Don't think about the market price. Don't think because you're buying to live in it. It's not like that. It's a longer term.
Agree.
If you're buying to invest, then it depends. You need to tell me what's your expectations on a capital appreciation. Do you want how much money to be increased?
Or when you would like to exit, for
Exactly.
instance.
If the property is an already ready, established, saturated, mature community, you don't expect to have that much of high capital appreciation, but you might get really good return on investment from the rental yield. So it really depends on what you want to do. So topic number 3. What does the market activity right now mean for homeowners? As in, you're a homeowner, I'm a homeowner, we live in Dubai, we're investors, and we own our properties right now. The current conditions, people are thinking, do I sell now? Are we nearing the peak? Is this the time for me to sell and wait for a bit until the price drops? And you know the story. What do you think?
Again, depends on your personal preferences, depending on your situation in this country or anywhere else you are based. Well, is it a good time to sell? Yes, it is a good time to sell. Well, I think it is always a good time to sell
and to buy.
And to buy,
Yes.
Exactly. So it's again, it based on the personal preferences. If someone will come to me, to Svetlana, and will give me a really lucrative offer for one of my properties, I may think of selling it actually, because the capital appreciation will be really, really high. So it all depends on the offer, and it all depends on whether you need it or you don't need it now.
No, I agree. I'll tell you my personal take on it. Personal, not even professional. As a person that owns property that I live in, and this is something I was thinking about over the last few weeks. Now, I own a property. The property, I bought it in 2020, which gave me a very nice capital appreciation. So I'm sitting on a very nice capital appreciation on my property. Now, as you said earlier, if I would sell this one to use it to upgrade and get a bigger unit with a higher budget, that would also be nice. Possible. My only issue is that I will be losing on the capital appreciation that I gained in my current apartment. Because if I buy something new now, I'm giving my profit to someone else, and that means I'm starting again from the beginning and wait for the market appreciation, which obviously I bought it in a time where it appreciated so much. So I'm not sure when is the next time this will happen. So this is a homeowner's take.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, my take now is my idea with real estate is, or not just real estate, investment in general, is I have to always think about building wealth. It's not just about investing or having a property valued X. It's how much of that is pocket money for me. How much is that my take home kind of thing. So when I look at it, no, at this stage where I am, someone like me, if I am capable of saving a little bit more, waiting on my purchase a little bit more, being able to materialize another purchase without having to sell my current home. So even though I might be slightly tight financially over the next couple of years, in order for me to get that happening, but that means a lot better for me. So in my case, I wouldn't rather sell. I would keep it because of the capital appreciation, and I would make it a bit tight for a few months, save a little bit more, and put that money into a new home where I start from scratch and I don't lose my original capital appreciation.
I understand. Yes.
Or off plan, that will be delivered over the next year or two, so I don't lose my capital appreciation.
And probably you are emotionally attached to your property. Probably, because I am emotionally attached.
A lot of people are. I don't. I'm a very typical man. I don't get emotionally attached.
Okay.
We've been through a lot in life, you know.
I know, yeah.
Emotional attachment is an attachment, and I try to steer away from those attachments as much as I can. But anyway, this is my personal situation, and it's obviously I'm giving it as an example because I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation. I have a lot of people asking me the same. Most of my friends have a similar situation. How many projects are being launched in Dubai specifically and UAE generally over the last year And if I'm not wrong, daily we are invited to launches or we're briefing our teams about a new project launching somewhere. In addition to obviously the available secondary market stock that is in the market, and we have a very good amount of stock advertised with us and registered with us.
Yeah.
So how do we advise people? What do you see as a real estate professional? How's that affecting us? What do you think? What's the advice to our listeners that are agents? Let's start this way. And our listeners that are buyers or interested buyers or sellers. Let's put it that way. 3 questions. What's this effect on me as an agent? What do I do?
If there are so many off-plan launches happening?
Projects launching all over the place, as always. Dubai is in high demand and all the developers now are launching.
What do I do? Where do I focus, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so as I mentioned to our listeners, that I've been working in this market since 2006. And obviously I started my career as a real estate agent. And if I would go back to look at all the projects, where would I focus? First of all, I will look at the portfolio of my current clients based on their requirements. What do they want to buy? What are their budgets? When do they want to exit? Do they need it for their families, or do they want to exit after 50% of payment, etc., etc., etc.? And then I'll choose the projects accordingly. I personally prefer, as a seasoned real estate professional, to deal with the certain developers. I personally dealt with these developers throughout many years. I know managers there. I know how professional they are. I know that the customer service is great.
They're moving a lot, though.
They are moving, but still, the company itself, the company itself is there. The quality of the projects, the post-service of the developer is great. So I would deal only with the certain developers, and I would recommend our agents to study the history of the developer, to know the quality, the location, to know the product well, basically, because when you recommend something to the client, please remember that you will work with this client throughout your professional career. This client will come back to you again and again. If the client is happy, the client will refer to your friends, family members, etc. So study the product, know the developers based on the requirements of the client. Then, what would I recommend to my clients? Where to look? Obviously, until now, I'm still working with several clients, and they do seek for my professional advice. And again, I always ask them, what's your current situation? What do we want to do with the properties which we bought 3 or 4 years ago? Are children moving to Dubai, etc., etc. So based on the personal preferences of the clients, I suggest them a certain developers. And who is the third category we talked about?
No, wait. I want to finish this agent point first.
Okay.
I always tell the agents that I meet, especially the newcomers that come in, you have to remember one very important aspect. When you're dealing with a client, that investment decision that they're making in a real estate market is probably regardless of how rich the clients are, regardless of how much money they have, regardless, the investment in real estate is always going to be one of the biggest decisions that you can make in your life, depending on, obviously, the size. The client buying a studio for the first time after saving for so many years is the same as a client buying a mansion or a penthouse in the most expensive area.
Agree.
It's a big decision to make. So I always advise the agents, put your feet in the client's shoes. Make sure that you walk their way. You have to understand them very well. So if you're in their shoes with your knowledge, because this is the other point, you have to have the knowledge of what you're talking about. What would you advise? So this is a very important aspect. And because of the market condition now and all these launches happening, I always advise the agents, if you're senior enough, if you're like us, have been in the market for 20 years, 19, 20 years, then maybe you have a lot deeper knowledge of a lot more things because of the history and you've been in the market. But if you're new, if you've been in the market for a few years, you will not be able to cover the market. Do not try, because you will lack in everything.
Agree.
You need to focus on a certain area or a certain developer, or be specialized. Speciality is extremely important. And focus on the clients interested in that area or in that developer. And if you start to feel like, I need to serve as a client looking there, or I want to go to the other city, you will not do it justice. And especially for fresh agents that are coming in, please stick to what you know. As TLC have always said, please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. And that is the best way to do it. Now, the second point, for buyers. So I know you started already talking about it, but what would you advise buyers when it comes to all these off-plan launches? Because you get these excited buyers, and I would like to put it in that way from a mental state perspective, because they come excited to you. I'm excited. This Amar is launching. What about that? Shoba is launching. Damak has Damak Islands and this and that. And sometimes I hear the calls because I listen to the calls of the agents, as we always do, and I feel like the client is confused and it's confusing the agent. What would you tell buyers in this situation?
Again, I will ask the buyers what they're interested in, and I will divert them into a certain area, into a certain project. I will take 3 to 4 options of the new developers within the same segment. If it's a townhouse, then I'll check what is going to be released soon in terms of the launches for the townhouses and villas. If it's a unit in a residential building in one area, then I'll check if there are any other private developers releasing any units in the same area, compare the prices, and I will give the comparison analysis to my client. And this is what I suggest to do, by the way, to the agents, because as again, I would like to repeat myself, your client will stick to you, will stick with you throughout your professional career if the client is happy with your professional
100%.
services.
100%.
So yes.
Seller. What would you tell a seller?
Okay, what would I tell the seller? If I have a seller who is interested, again, seller of ready properties, if he's
selling in general. So if you want to break it down into off-plan versus secondary, let's do that. But I'll tell you where this question is coming from. A lot of the sellers, when the market is going up, you've seen this so many times. During even they've signed something, and after signing, and we say, oh, actually the unit price has increased, and I want an additional 100,000, 200,000.
It doesn't work this way.
Yeah. So what would you advise the seller when it comes to in a market like it's going up, like currently still on the uptrend? What would you advise the seller?
So if the seller is selling a property, I'll give the seller the numbers, first of all, based on the latest transactions from one of the sources, let's say from a Property Monitor or from Dubai Land Department. These are open sources. And I will recommend the seller the correct price. I will keep advising the seller at what price it has to be sold, and definitely I never recommend to change the prices within a month or 2 months. So basically that's it.
So your advice is, this is how I always advise it, it's exactly very well said. I would advise the seller is, please listen to your agent. If you find the right agent, obviously, and come to us, we will help you. But if you find the right agent, listen to your agent. Don't listen to your friend that works in FMCG. Do not listen to your neighbor that saw you somewhere. Do not make the research yourself unless you pay. You actually give 100%.
Go to a professional.
Exactly.
When you are not feeling well, where do you go? You go to the hospital. You don't go to your friend. So the same here. Please choose a trustworthy company, a trustworthy agent, and work with this agent. If you are not happy with the services, go and find another one.
I agree. So this is actually, you opened the last topic that I would like to mention today, and this is a topic that a bit, I would say, sticky. Let's put it there. Sensitive. Dubai has registered. We'll break it down into 2 parts. Dubai, or the UAE in general. Let's talk Dubai because we know the numbers accurately. Dubai has almost 5,000 to 6,000, if not more, agencies registered. And if you put just a round number of, let's say there's 10 agents per agency on average, you're talking about 50 to 60,000 real estate agents that works in a small city like Dubai. This, what you just said, hits perfectly this chord. This chord is there's so many agents. And because of so many agents, there's a lot of people that are not trained well. There are not people that are not doing the ethical measures to service the clients properly. And it's a lot of issues that you see, a lot of hot topics like the kickback or whatever it is you want to call it. And it's more desperation from the agent side and not caring about the client needs as much as they need to make money. And everybody's the bling bling of Dubai and let's make money. It's real estate. It's easy.
Very fast. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you say towards this to clients? Now, there is all these agents. How do I go about finding the right agent?
Okay. First of all, we are living in a 21st century. You go to the internet, you check.
Stalk them.
You check what is available on the market.
Yeah.
You can go to one of the property platforms in UAE and check the names of the agencies, and you can see the pictures of the verified or super agents. So study again, check what is available on the market and who is representing the property. Then interact with the agent. How fast is the agent replying on your phone call? Let's start from the beginning. Whenever I used to get a call from the client, from the platform, regardless, if I'm driving, if I'm doing anything, I'm occupied, I'll stop my car and I'll pick up the phone. And I will always answer professionally. Svetlana speaking. So if, you can identify the agent. If the agent is prompt in replies, if the agent is giving you the entire information straight away, if the agent is not chewing during the conversation or not having lunch and interacting with you, if the agent has set up the viewing immediately or provided you all information and gave you basically everything you needed, then I think this is the right agent to work with.
I agree. Okay, so this is for agents. Now, let's talk developers. So I remember 3 years ago, I was invited to an event by Dubai Land Department. And at that time, it was a big deal. And there were registered 106 developers in Dubai. As per my last information, we've crossed 400 developers.
Wow.
Over the last just 2-3 years. And the reason behind that is a lot of the big investors that used to come and buy bulk from the existing developers realized that they no longer can do the short exit from the investment in the property, and now they have to wait 3-4 years until handover of the property that they're buying off plan. And that means that maybe it's better for them to buy a land and construct and develop it, and the exit will be similar time, but with a lot higher return. So from that perspective, what would you suggest buyers that are coming into the market new, and how to choose the developer, and which developer should they invest into and why?
Okay, let me share my personal experience.
Yes.
When I moved to Dubai in 2004, obviously, we had only 3 developers. 2 were government and 1 was private. So one of the semi-government developers, I can name, I think that's fine, we're not advertising anyone. So MR, right? I lived in, I think it was the 2nd residential building of MR in Dubai Marina, original 6 towers. Spacious apartment, I was living there with my cousin. They actually bought this property back to 2001, I think. Yes. And so I didn't know anything about the properties, right? It was in Dubai Marina. We were sitting, Dubai Marina was heavily under construction. There was nothing. There was another building opposite, across the road, across the lake, across the canal, Marina Terraces, I think, Damak building. And it was about to be handed over. And then the rest was just heavy constructions and only 6 towers of MR with the completed infrastructure around it. Meaning that if I just move to Dubai, I do not know anything. I don't speak any languages. I need to go to the supermarket. I went downstairs. I picked up the food. I went to the coffee shop to have my coffee, etc., etc., etc. So I remember telling myself, Svetlana, your first property has to be from MR. Because when MR is delivering, they deliver the project in a full completed infrastructure. Regardless, even if the project is located far away, even if I need to drive 40 minutes, but I know once I'm in my project, once I'm in my community, I have everything in a walking distance. Pharmacy, supermarket, hairdressing salon, nail salon, anything I need.
Especially the nail salons for ladies. Yes.
Extremely important, yes. Ladies will understand. Coming back to the buyer. So I told myself, yes, your first property has to be from MR. And actually, when I started working in the real estate business in 2006, I was working for a developer. Obviously, I was selling one of the largest private developers, but then I moved to the brokerage side. Once I moved to the brokerage side, I was recommending MR a lot to my clients because of the social infrastructure, because of the infrastructure. Now coming back to our buyers, not everyone can afford MR, not everyone can afford other developers, DAMAC or anything else. Some buyers have a limited budget, and some buyers are not planning actually to live in this property. They just would like to invest X amount of money and then exit it after 1 or 2 years. So they're looking at the smaller developers with the very affordable prices, entry points, let's say so.
Svetlana, this has been an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for answering all the questions. I'm sure a lot of people will take notes, so grab a pen and paper. This is very valuable from someone who's been in the market for a very, very long time. Thank you again, and hopefully see you very soon. For our viewers, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and look forward to seeing you on our next episodes.